Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3 Tides of Torment, where today we track Tyrion to Val's Anvil and finish him once and for all, except not really, because he's a legendary lord and he can't be killed and we'll have to fight him several more times probably. To be clear, when we do take a legendary lord off the table, what happens is they go into the wounded state for 5 turns, and then when that timer is up, they just re-enter their faction's lord pool available for recruiting again. Many legendary lords have skills or effects that lower that timer as well. I don't know if Tyrion's one of them, so we might see him even sooner than 5 turns after we kill him. But in any case, Tyrion's fallen back to Val's Anvil. He's got a pretty small army. He is actively recruiting, and he's got 14 units in the garrison here. Plus, it doesn't look like there are actually... Why does he have 14 units in the garrison? Hold on a second. Ah, there's an outpost. Okay. Which is providing some extra sea guard. So he doesn't have real defensive structures. Like, he has the basic walls that every major settlement gets, but he doesn't have upgraded defensive structures. But he does have a 14-unit garrison to hide behind. And while these are all low-tier units, that is a lot of bows. 8 of those units have bows, and that's just like, you know, a volume of arrows. Even with them being the most basic arrows available, volume is going to be a problem for us there.
Wulfric the Wanderer.
So we do kind of want to spend one more turn healing. Yeah, a lot of our critical troops are pretty badly wounded, including Wulfric and the dragon and the mammoth. Yeah, we want to spend one more turn healing. So... while we're healing up here, is there anything else we want to do? Could we put you into camp mode?
Great shaman sorcerer.
Okay, that'll give us a little bit faster replenishment here. He's not going to be able to recruit anything in a single turn of waiting because he doesn't have any skills that accelerate his global recruitment. But we could hand off, what, up to 3 units. Yeah, we could hand off up to 3 units from Wulfric's army to Thoman's army, and then have Wulfric take advantage of his higher speed recruitment. That might be a good idea. You know what? Let's just like bulk up. We're trying to execute a push here, and I think like things have been going well so far. But my guess is we're gonna find a bunch of armies in the area around Lothern, and things are gonna get more complicated. So it keeps not selecting the right thing here. All right, what 3 units do I want to take from this army, and how do we want to replace them? If we grab... we could grab the 3 hunters. So like, I probably want to recruit... We're entitled to another unit of Chaos Warriors. I probably want to do that. Maybe I take, like, the Great Weapon Marauders and the Chariot. I don't really love Chariot units, so I'm trying to just pass this off into the other stack. And then one more of something else. I could trade the Marauder Champions backwards now that we have proper Chaos Warriors to fill that gap instead. I kind of like we have a lot of... Wulfric has a lot of buffs for Marauder types. I might give up a unit of Marauder Hunters. Okay, so you take those.
To the 4 corners.
Wulfric will grab another unit of these and replace the lost Marauder Hunters and get another unit of Skinwolves in, maybe? That leaves us with a basic melee core of 7 units. Mostly pretty tough units, but we have the berserkers who are more intended to be counter infantry. And then a decent set of like flanking and charging guys. What's in the Regiment of Renown pool right now? Well, we don't want to take these on the recruit, though. We want to recruit them next turn with Thoman before we push. Right, so yeah, I want to just grab... I guess normal skin wolves will be fine. How are we doing on money, actually? Because these are 200 upkeep per turn, and these are only 95. And we're looking at the amount of money we're spending every turn and the amount of money we have in the bank. And considering... It is tough to run a big fancy army. Maybe we go with the axe throwers. 3 units of skin wolves is good. Yeah, this is good. Okay. So, next turn we're in, I think, pretty strong shape. Everybody's going to be actually at full health. We'll have 33, 34 if we want to pull the Regiment of Renown. Powerful units to continue our push with. And Tyrion just started recruiting, and Val's Anvil has no unit generating stuff in it. So he'll be able to recruit the basic stuff that you can get from the province capital, which I think includes like the tier 1 spearmen and maybe archers. But he won't be able to get any good troops here except through global recruitment, which means we should be able to attack him before any of that stuff finishes. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay, our new wolves are gonna have to come join us, and it is a bit of a ride, unfortunately. I don't exactly know where we're gonna be by the time they get down here. I guess we could have them aim for White Peak, and then... Yeah, we'll see what things look like when they get down here. We have another hero who's going to be doing the same job here. Head for the area around White Peak, and we'll make our decisions then. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns of movement I just keyed in for them. So... we'll get the benefit eventually. Alright, here we're just waiting for population to build up. It's gonna be a minute. And is there anything else we want to do? We're doing okay on money. This slot is going to open up next turn. That's good to know. Yeah, I think we're good then. I am curious if we're going to see any high elf armies come up from the east to move into like a support position for Tyrion. Lothern and Val's Anvil are far enough apart that we shouldn't... Wow, Tyrion's army filled up. Holy hell, look at how much that bar gained. How many units did he recruit in one turn? I guess his Regiment of Renown menu must also have been very available. I didn't really think about that. They, other legendary factions do have Regiments of Renown. Okay, well that might be a problem. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it is once our turn comes around here. But I was gonna say there's no way they're moving units from Lothern to Val's Anvil in a single turn. So we shouldn't have to worry about that level of reinforcement. And if they start moving stuff up, we can counter. Tree Singer Otrolio has decided to deal with the orcs on our behalf. Very much appreciated. And here comes Philip Billings on a quest for revenge. That's actually... It's like really, really well timed. I don't know what we're going to do about that. I really don't want to pull my units off of what they're doing now. Okay, your hunt is, of course, a preordained success. Of that you have no doubt. Others have not been similarly blessed or well prepared. One such hapless reminder has taken ragged human form in front of the hunter's force. Half mad, he barely remembers what it is he and his warriors once hunted, only that they failed. Still, his fingers twitch around the grip of his weapon, eyes bearing down on anything in sight to fight and kill. A cloud, a rock, the winds themselves. Or, as it happens, the hunting party's leader. He would dare to attempt to damage Thoman Gorax. So we could fight him. Do a little challenge here, get ourselves a Trickster's Helm, which is a pretty good piece of equipment. But Thoman takes some damage. We can defer the challenge. The Madman's Tales of Failure may prove instructive, though. Failure, proving instructive. Hard to imagine. Or we can pretend we're going to do a challenge and then just have somebody else kill the guy. We still get his helmet. But in that case, all of the characters in the Force lose 4 points of leadership. Killing a wretch in a duel is pointless when others can do it on your behalf, but such a murder carries a sour aftertaste. So that would only actually apply to Skyla. I don't think that's that big of a deal. But I think I'm going to take the challenge honored, because Thoman's health doesn't really matter all that much. So he got wounded killing that guy, but we got a cool helmet out of it. The gods of your enemies have directly intervened in our interest, sowing destruction across our realm. How do we confront a god's wrath? So in Tor Sathai, people are slightly unhappier for 3 turns. Something tells me we're going to be okay. All right, so what's up with Tyrion? Yeah, Tyrion gained like 8 units, was it? That's crazy.
You dare to order me?
We don't know anything about where the rest of our enemies are. Can I ride up and get some vision, maybe? Am I going to recruit the regiment? It's 1,500 gold with an additional 200 upkeep per turn. So we would have to... Gosh, we'd have to make some pretty aggressive moves. I'm going to do it.
Who will have my favor? Indeed.
And we're just going to make the aggressive moves.
You are getting above yourself.
All right, up close we can see... Okay, he bought a new hero in.
War.
Caradrian, the legendary elf?
Destination.
I don't know. Some white lions, got some spears, and just a lot of basic stuff. Thoman, will your army be tired if we... Here, let's go into normal stance.
Yes.
And here's where we have Wulfric engage. Wulfric on his cool new battle mammoth. A Pyrrhic victory, huh? I mean, I'll say this. It is an ugly lot of archers. Like, it really, really, really is a lot of ranged units. And just stacked up against the wall, or stacked up along the walls of a settlement, they could do some real damage. Also, holy hell, I know we said character damage and everything. Thoman is really fucked up. He very nearly lost that duel, apparently. So I'm debating here. It says casualties medium. Do we want to take the auto-resolve? I want to maintain momentum, so I don't want to get hurt too badly. But I'm trying to figure out if I think we'll get a better result from auto-resolving this than we will from doing it manually. I have no doubt of our victory, but you can take an awful lot of damage during a player-commanded victory, especially if the opponent is on, like, 15 archer units. Things can go really well for you and still, you know, end up with a lot of your force dead. I think we're going to go for the manual attack here. We will do our level best. try to keep things healthy. We just don't want to. I don't want to take so much damage that I lose my momentum. You know. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it manually. Plus, this will be our first major settlement battle. Our first major battle with the with Wulfric on his war mammoth. This will be interesting. So you can see here they've got their little settlement pressed back into that mountain. We have got our approach. The good news is there's a big chunk of the mountain in between, like a big chunk of the mountain that we can use to hide from their siege weapons and whatnot. The bad news is there's not a huge amount of wall space, so they're going to be able to cover it pretty thoroughly. There are tricks we can use here, though. There's things we can do. For one thing, we have a dragon, and a dragon's a big advantage. So, they get automatic defensive towers along the outer wall. In addition, because we've never had a settlement battle here, let's talk about this. They will be able to use the supplies that accumulate from these supply locations to build more towers and other kinds of defenses within the city. And the longer we give them, the more time they'll get to build up resources and construct that kind of stuff. We really want to get through to them relatively quickly. We can take over the supply locations to break down the defenses that they build up. And we can see here, so we got some gates. Ways up into the city. This right here is the victory location. Whoever is in control of the victory location is constantly generating, well, if we take control of the victory ticket, we'll constantly be generating what are called victory tickets. And if we hold it for long enough, we will just win. Obviously, they have to prevent us from doing that because they're the defender. Or we can just win the battle the old-fashioned way, kill all the enemies, force them to surrender. It all works. But you can't actually affect the location. You can see how it's locked here. Until we have some of their other stuff under control. So they have down here their key building. The plaza that we would have to control in order to unlock that. And they have, like I said, these 4 locations around the map that control their tower access and stuff. Now, I can't do it during map setup, which is really annoying. But during the actual match, I'll be able to click on these towers and get a visual of their targeting area. For right now, what you need to know is it's longer and wider than you would think. So I'm going to put the majority of our army over here in the woods, in the corner, in a place where none of their towers have access to. Now, keep in mind what I was saying about having to own the key location before you can own the victory location. This will prevent us from just like flying a cold voider over the mountain and capping. Also, flying units, I think, even when they're in ground mode, don't cap. So there's a couple ways into such a settlement where you can fly over the walls and start working that way if you have enough flying units. You can see here, infantry units all bring siege ladders to the battle and can run up to the walls, put up ladders, and climb over. You can smash through the gate with any kind of unit that deals siege damage. For example, any unit that has this siege attacker trait. Generally speaking, monsters, huge mammoths, etc. Lots of legendary characters have it. And finally, you can actually just punch a hole through the walls and go in that way if you have units that are capable of inflicting that kind of damage, which we do not. We also have a small reinforcement set arriving 146 through the battle, so I kind of want to tend our units this way so that there's nobody watching these towers. If these guys can show up and just walk right up to the gates, that would be a huge boon for us. But we have to do it in such a way that we are not also sustaining constant damage from the towers, because, I mean, I shouldn't have to tell you, constant damage from the towers will kill us pretty quickly. They're defensive towers. Their whole thing is shooting the hell out of invaders. So I'm going to cheat our force to the side a little bit here, just trying to make the enemy want to deploy to this side, even though we don't necessarily intend to go over here. And I think with that, let's just get started and see how things go. My plan right now is to kind of play it soft and slow outside here. Look at, geez. The area of these towers is so bananas. And the elves up on the walls get a bonus to their firing range, if I'm not mistaken. So it looks like we were successful. We did get them to to put all of their units on this side of the fortress. It's going to turn out to be a pretty good play for them. So the question is, do we want to run over here now, or do I want to wait for my reinforcements to spawn in? You know what? Let's go try to take the gate now. So using some of our fastest, most gate-destroyingest units, let's rush this gate and try to take control of it. Bring the wizard over too. The dragon is not here to help take the gate necessarily, so much as to threaten anyone who would dare to get on the wall over here. Now, obviously, they have the ability to just run over, and they have kind of a shorter trip than we do, having to go all the way around the outside of the wall. But again, we also do have flying units and stuff. You know, we have some advantages here. Okay, it looks like they did not leave the gate totally unguarded. There is a unit of spearmen. It looks like just normal spears. No particular reason to get aggressive with them then. Except that I'm a dragon. Like, you know, they are anti-large units. But also, I'm a dragon. My hope is to break their morale very, very quickly. Alright. Everybody from the reinforcement army, just get the fuck up here. We'll sort out who you are and who should be hitting the gate or whatever after you get up here. So the mammoth is the first of our siege attacker units that looks like it's going to actually make it to the gate. So let's get them online, and then am I going to bring the rest of my units over, or do we want to leave some people over here so that if the enemy relocates completely, we can still cheat through this gate? I think let's just bring the whole force over. And my goal here is going to be just to like grab some key locations and grab some locations and challenge them for control of their key points. Reinforcements are still arriving. You guys also please get up here. Pretty good work from the dragon there. They have remained kind of narrow, so they're not getting very many of their spears in on the dragon at any one time, which is a terrible way to fight. They need to widen their surface. All right, and here comes the mammoth to show this door who is the boss. Now we could have our infantry units trying to climb the wall, but I'd much rather go through the gate. As you might imagine, putting a siege ladder up and then climbing over it is a very tiring activity. withdraw. Let some searing death occur. Okay, so what do we got over here? This is Tyrion himself. Tyrion riding bravely to the defense of something. They've got their other units moving through, but it's going to take them. It's going to take the slower infantry units a little while. You can see that the mammoth is already through a third of the gate health. And I don't know, is Tyrion's plan? Tyrion, are you on horseback? You must be in order to get over here so fast. So he can't mount the wall. Cavalry units can't get up on the walls. Yeah, I'm not really sure what his plan is. I think I'm going to run Wulfric, though, over to open this gate as well, because I would like to have multiple functional points of entry here. All right. If they try to get on the wall, we go back down and we show them who is the boss. The dragon can control the wall and try to keep the towers clear. The towers are going to just be a little bit of a pain until this gate comes down. And unfortunately, you don't need very many people on the wall for the towers to be able to shoot. Come on, hurry, hurry, hurry.
Guts and glory.
Fortunately, we have a large enough assortment of people that the towers aren't going to deal a ton of damage to any particular unit. Let's separate some people over here. Get ready to charge this gate when it breaks. And we're about ready to push through here as well. Tyrion's using some kind of magic items. I don't believe he has spells, but he has items with spells bound into them, as do many legendary lords. Okay, there goes the gate. And mammoth through, and let's take control. So we can just run through with all these units. Hopefully they will try to route through the gate and not try to go over the wall, but sometimes, you know. Thoman Gorax is probably going to stay outside the party. Hopefully nobody's shocked by that, given his current HP level. But you need to get indoors quick. If we can swarm Tyrion and break him down real fast, that would be a huge boon to us. And I will absolutely put my magic to that end. Our dragon is taking fire from these troops up here because elves, man. Now that we're about to take control of the gatehouse, though, it's not really necessary for the dragon to be over here anymore. So I think I'm gonna disengage. Alright, Tyrion is gonna have at the mammoth. I think probably it behooves our dragon to get over here and try to break up the archers that are coming down. Or do I want to try to shoot these ones? I guess what I really want to do is let the archers group up a little bit before I engage with them, probably. Although, actually, this is a unit of raw archers. If the dragon can grab these guys, he should do so at any time. The Sea Guard are a little trickier because, like, once they go into spear and shield mode, they'll, you know, they won't win in a fight against a dragon, but they'll take significantly longer to die. It'll be annoying and inconvenient. And let's, now that we are engaging Tyrion properly, let's hit him with the old Plague of Rust. Let's make sure that we have the maximum chance of doing real damage to him. You are also in Kill Tyrion mode. Well, the rest of y'all just kind of get in there and we'll worry about stuff as we worry about it. This gate should not take very long to break down. And we already have people in position. Okay, the rest of y'all form up a little bit more, and we'll break people up through the gates as is appropriate. This mammoth is absolutely going to get its ass kicked by Tyrion, in case you were curious. So we're just going to let it do its thing until the skin wolves get in, keep him in place. Actually, you know, with the help, let's see how it does. Ooh. These guys are grouping up a little bit. I'll just go quick dragon breath over in that direction. Pretty solid hit, if I do say so myself. And then it looks like we can't stay on these archers for very long because they really are running a lot of archer reinforcements across. But we can at least get started here. Okay, so Caradhrian, another one of their legendary heroes. Let's get just marauders and Scylla and bodies. Basically just bodies on him, but he's gonna be tough. You know what? Maybe we shouldn't even. Scylla's really more of a group fighter, isn't he? Like, go fight those guys. The biggest danger we're going to face here is getting archered to oblivion in any one of these locations. So I think it's really important that we keep our fast units on archer patrol. All right, you guys try to chase those dudes down. We've got control of the gatehouse. They no longer have the ability to fire the towers at us. And I'm going to take... I mean, these spearmen are cooked, right? These guys are done for. I'm going to take the riders of the mighty serpent and tell them just go to the control point. Get that open and let's do it. Let's do the thing. Come on, break that gate. It can't be more than like 1 or 2 hits. Yeah, one more. All right. So you're through. The beasts of Tashnar have 95 speed. We're going to set them on those archers. Got a couple units of ogre, sort of just generally charging folk. Go have at those rangers. What we're doing right here is we're pushing to get to their key location. So we'll have some units pushing up here to grab the control point and other units sweeping around for the other thing. And my hope is that they will not be able to maintain control of this stuff for very long because it's so far away from where they started. I'm trying to take advantage of my natural Norskin speed advantage. You guys... It's not really very easy to wrap around to here, is it? Like, I kind of want to have some units, like, do this thing. But they have to be fast. Alright, let's see how this all goes. I'm going to engage your Crimson Juggernaut skill. You're going to fucking haul ass over these dudes and let them know who is the boss. And Tyrion's bleeding. He's having a hard time with his armor fucked up. Let me throw up a transmutation of lead as well. Maybe it might seem like overkill to transmute just for 2 men. But, you know, Tyrion and Caradhrian are both... they're both excellent fighters. And they both have the ability to fucking Dynasty Warriors this gate if we don't take them pretty seriously. So... and I'm going to reiterate, these guys got caught up in the mix, but I need them to get free. Please don't try to take the long way. And I need you not to get caught. Don't fight that chariot. I know it's a big easy target. But somebody's got to kill these archers. See, they're still trying to take the weird... Oh, I see. They built a tiny barricade here. Okay. All right. Our dragon, I stopped paying attention for 8 seconds, and the dragon's been Horribly wounded. Not great. Alright, let's start running in some of these other units. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to tell everybody to get in. I'm hopeful that they will be smart enough to use the gates. I know that in the past builds, sometimes if you told too many melee units to try to go through a wall at once, some of them would just siege ladder, even if the gates were open. I think because, you know, too many of the location tickets were already owned or whatever, but like, obviously that's not what we're looking for. Oh man, I really hope that dragon gets out of there. I mean, if we lose the dragon, keep in mind it's a legendary dragon. It's not really it'll be wounded for a few turns, and then we'll get it back. But all right, rampage these nerds. Set them to rampage. None shall run, all shall fight, but only one shall survive. Yeah, he's doing good work.
Wulfric the Wanderer!
Wolfric, do not stop.
Decapitate!
We are not currently stopping. They're trying to like throw single units at us to pause us long enough to do archer stuff. And our plan, as far as that goes, is going to be to let our legend precede us a little bit here. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Don't stop and fight these nerds. We have other guys to fight the nerds. There we go. That's what I want to see. I'll say this. If the dragon is keeping the attention of that many people, that's certainly not a terrible thing. Like, there was several units of archers they were using on it to try to bring it down. So those guys being... Jeez, the camera keeps falling off the cliff. Apologies. Those guys being devoted to that task instead of the other things that they could be doing is definitely good for us. Let's leave the skin wolves in on the rangers, the ogres in on the rangers. The rest of you, please, please, just run for the victory point. Difficult to issue orders that really communicate the positioning we want people to have, you know? Everybody's very focused on being spread out, which is not a thing you ever want your units to be doing anyway. I'm not sure why it is their default desire. All right, Tyrion's still fighting, but a lot of our units are past him now. They're rapidly erecting barricades, but we can put an end to this behavior if we can get control of the supply point on this side. Where is my wizard? Okay, you need to refuck Tyrion's armor. And then the combat stats of these gentlemen in general.
Shamanic death!
Over here. Sala's gonna just go ahead and try to maintain a nice high standard of health.
Rage and fury.
I don't know what's going on with all these spearmen, but let's remove them from the battle.
A glorious sight!
My skin wolves, unfortunately, they're getting all caught up on things that do not matter. And this is a big danger you have when you have a battle like this, is a lot of your units are going to decide that they want to stop and fight swordsmen, or you often have to like mash an order into a unit's head pretty seriously, and you can't always be doing that. You have too many of them doing things, too much stuff is going on. Actually, this might be a really good moment for the frost scale. We might not need a unit to devote itself to this charge. We might be able to just go straight to the key point. This only affects characters. Let's see how this goes. Well, I would say. Yes, that was successful.
Quickly now! Massacre!
Alright, let's knock out this platform. They're trying to build another one. They really want to keep us out of there.
The eagle rewards!
So they're spending a lot of their goody, what do you call it? A lot of their goody budget on this stuff instead of putting up more defensive towers, which is good. And as you can see, it's not going to stand very long against the mammoth. Chariot charge into the great axes is, yeah, you know, we're doing something. We're getting something done there. This should be down pretty quickly. Do we have a lot more enemies around? We don't. Yeah, you can see they have constructed some simple towers here, but you may have noticed that tower had a little 1 next to it. There's several different levels of defensive tower that you can build, and we're doing a good job of keeping them limited, even though they are getting some of their defensive structures up. Unfortunately, this one is staying up because Sila's the only person who's actually made it over here, and he is just being mobbed constantly. Let's get these Marauder champions in on them as a flank. Let's have this mammoth tear this down. You guys keep eating spearmen as best you can. I mean, the Marauder berserkers are going to do better against spears than the skin wolves are in a just like stand and fight kind of way because of the anti-large. These wolves are in, unfortunately, archer position. Tyrion is alive, but he's not winning. Let's see if we can separate out some of these units, because these are not all units. This should be fighting Tyrion. You guys, though, the Marauder Hunters. Let's face you toward this guy. If we can, I would like very much to get a bunch of axes thrown at Tyrion. Oh, you know what else we can do, actually, while this guy is still out here and in relatively safe position? We can Spirit Leech Tyrion as well. Just throw a little life drain at him from safely outside the walls. Okay. Yeah, enemy archers just getting to do what they want. We gotta put an end to this. This is maybe what I should have. Maybe I should have held my dragon in reserve for this situation, and then just rode over and dropped the breath on them. But whatever. Too late now, sadly. Come on, big smashy animations, go faster.
Chaos always wins! On the
Trying to make sure chaos always wins. The mammoth does not seem to be able to target the barricade for whatever reason. Okay, we're winning on this side. Okay, this barricade is down. Great news. And once a structure has been destroyed, it gets this this state for a little while, so they don't have the ability to just spend resources to put it right back up instantly. All right, y'all get over here and take control of this point. It looks like they set up a trap barricade over here, not a blocking barricade, which means actually we should be able to just run some of our guys through here. The trap hinders attacking and moving. It doesn't actually like stop people. So we should be able to run a couple units through and, first of all, club these archers in the back of the head, which will be great fun. And secondly, actually take control of that box over there. now I'm allowed to attack it. Huh, weird.
Sanctity in blood.
Alright, you guys press
Sanctity.
this way. We're going to try to knock this thing down real fast. Oh, if we get through, it's going to be ugly, ugly, ugly times for them.
Desire torment.
And they're just raining arrows into my shields, which is funny. Okay, we managed to get our people separated out pretty well here. The axe throwers seem to understand that their task is mostly to kill Tyrion. Although, unfortunately, this has left Caradrian. I might want to pull one unit of Slaanesh warriors just to get poison on him or something. And he's not really doing all that well. Speaking of not doing all that well, also Tyrion. Tyrion is having some problems. I'm going to continue spirit draining him. Remember, after their lord dies, they will take a tremendous leadership penalty for a little while. It'll be a good time to set a lot of people to panicking and fleeing.
Shame on sorcerer.
I'm going to try to ride my metal sorcerer up into raining metal on the archers' territory here. Okay, there goes their gate. There goes their barricade, and here comes the violence. So you have a couple units of real fast guys. Let's get in there. Charge speed way up. Fucking myrtleize them. And where is my dude? Okay. This has a very impressive range. If I overcast it, does it gain wider strike area, more missiles? Yeah. Just do it right here because they're all going to try to fall back through that. All right. Yeah, pretty good. That's going to show a lot of their archers, who is the boss, but unfortunately, what they have here is a multi-tiered archer setup. They just have they have archers standing 5 feet behind the initial archers, and then more archers standing back there, and we are going to have to kill all of them. It looks like a lot of my units just kind of disregarded their orders here. They left these horsemen to take the point by themselves and get countercharged. You big idiots. Get on the thing and make it my thing, please. Actually, you guys, your job is to kill those archers. Don't let them be the boss over here. All right, you lot, claim this point. Okay. There's so many things to keep track of all at once. Okay, that point should shift pretty quickly.
A glut of trophies.
You guys are in front, which is to say you're killing the archers.
We have failed.
Pretty decent. Good charge. Get on the point. Fight on the point.
And for all the champions.
All right. Everybody's gotta keep the momentum forward. It is very difficult to get your units not to stop and fight every little person individually. They love that shit, but everybody's got to keep moving forward. Will they stand and fire, or will they back out of the spell area? Nope, they thought they would just weather it. Looking pretty bad for them. Tyrion is still breathing dragon fire on people. Caradrian is actually slowly getting killed here. I'm going to continue. Tyrion's health has gone up by about 60%. I guess he had a potion or something. Very annoying stuff. We have all these units just firing their weapons in this general direction. Here, you guys come and join them. You guys come in here. We actually are going to need some help, it looks like. Unbelievable. Just unbelievably bad play from a lot of my units. It's tough to have the wherewithal to correct all of the places that your own guys are constantly trying to sabotage the battle. Because it is a full-time job to keep track of even a couple of units. Alright, so we got some spears coming down the hill here. Let me try to move you this way. Because I would love to... I'd love to get this over here. Alright, so we took control of the point over there and have disincorporated all the enemy structures that depend on it. Okay, there goes that. We've got control of this as well, it looks like. So that's great news. This thing still exists. Ah, because the control point for that is up here on the hill. Well, that's actually very easy to take control of as well now that we've got this. You two, go grab that. All right, you guys have got that under control. This is similarly a pretty short run. Yeah, we've kind of just got their whole infrastructure area back here now. Everybody fight really hard, or else, you know. Please don't make me boat you. I'll do it. All right, looks like the metal shards have been doing the work over here. And I think with this, instead of trying to pursue their troops this way, I think we're just headed up the hill. We're gonna get control of that top area for sure. We managed to keep these heroes from really affecting our combat strategy, and mostly obsessed with our like lowest tier units very effectively. I'm actually really pleased with how little work either of them has gotten to do as far as like actually fighting. Here, try to reposition yourselves a little bit more. Yeah, Caradrim is broken. Okay, it turns out they give. It turns out they surrender as soon as we like had their whole economy, their whole battle economy in hand. And indeed, Pyrrhic the victory. Pyrrhic the victory was, but it is not necessarily going to break the whole army. So, as you can see here, a lot of damage, pretty localized. We did lose the Cold Voider for a few turns, and that is a shame. But it's not irreplaceable, and it will come back. And what I was looking for mostly here was to come out of this situation where, in a state where, like, we're going to put up a tower here. We're going to put up a statue. And after a turn of sitting at this statue, we're ready to keep moving. And I think that is what we're getting. I don't think we're going to have to park for 2 turns again. Because the longer we stand around, the more chance they have to gather their forces. And also, Thoman Gorax's troops bore the brunt of the damage from Tyrion, which is good for us in the long term, because it means Wulfric's army is still ready to rock. Yeah, Tyrion was basically just like content to style on a bunch of random assholes all battle, and that feels very Elf Lord, right? It's just like he goes to the place where he can most overmatch and overawe his opponents, regardless of what that means for the battle, and then he just spends the whole fight looking totally sick. Okay, decent amount of money earned, lots of XP. And ooh, that is a lot of money. But I think the plan remains. We're raising altars, we're keeping the pressure up, we're showing our allegiance. We got ourselves a banner of the Black Iron Reavers. Okay, makes somebody pretty tough. We have attained control of the entire province. Pretty all right. So that gives us access to the commandment slot here. This is the first time we've had a whole province under our control. But once you have the whole province, you can issue a commandment that will affect the entire land, like income from battles in this land, we get more money, or reduced movement for enemy armies that start their turn here. Stuff like that. For us, I guess this is a Venerate the Four area, right? It's an area that we don't really intend to come back to. And it can just bleed corruption everywhere. A thing I think I haven't made clear about corruption, I think I haven't said, is that corruption obviously affects the region and province that it occurs in. But at the beginning of every turn, every region pushes some of its corruption out to the regions that are adjacent to it. And so if you have a really strongly corrupted spot on the map, that corruption will creep outward slowly. And so this might be a good spot for just keeping this whole island, at least this quarter of the island, well under our control. And we have an iron deposit here. What do we get from an iron mine? Not much, actually. Recruitment cost down for Marauder units is pretty minor, but I do want to put another resource on my trade treaty. So
The four corners.
yeah, this army's actually in really good shape. We're going to be at full health minus you at the beginning of the next turn.
For the gods.
But we do need to do some recruiting. I think it is probably worth... Yeah, our Marauders are starting to get up into the gold ranks. So it is probably worth grabbing the Champions of the North skill at this point. Armor, melee defense, and physical resistance up for all those helpful troops. And then we do have another skill point here. Is it time to start thinking about mammoths? Probably not. Let's grab some more stuff from this line. So even more leadership reduction, or Wolfric gets tougher and executes guys. I think I'm going to take the leadership push. We're doing a lot of good leadership damage with these armies.
Can never have enough tools.
Our enemies fear us, and rightly so. And you... What are you doing? You can learn missile resistance, melee attack and defense, a little bit more post-income, a little bit more post-battle loot. That's like fine. You know what? Let's take the cooldown and cost reduction for Searing Doom. Actually, let's master that out, because we are using it a lot, and it's actually quite good against these like really massed up melee armies.
Their souls.
Now the question: how do we want to
Great
recruit here?
Source.
I think what I'm going to do here is have Thum and Gorax grab this unit of horsemen, right? Rather than retiring them, we'll just pass them over. His army's going to be in a rougher shape for battle for a few turns anyway, and then Wolfric can just bring in 2 fresh units.
Suffering.
Now, what we lost there was a charging monster and a fast ranged unit. Do we have... No, we don't have horseback throwing weapon guys in the queue. We have anti-infantry armor-piercing chariots, though. Not wild about chariots, generally, but I do think that I will take... Yeah, oh boy. Those are expensive units. I'm looking at the the costs now. Like, that's going to be half of what we have at the bank, and we're going to bleed an awful lot at the end of the turn. Maybe I need to take something simpler. Again, just to not go broke. I want to have fast-moving ranged units. But, like, the 60 Marauder Horsemen is pretty different from 4 guys in chariots throwing spears. Like, the actual damage output of these is limited tremendously by the very small number of them. So maybe it's more like 2 units of Marauder Hunters for the moment. Marauder Hunters are pretty good against elves in particular because they have this shield breaker trait. So every time they hit a unit with a weapon, with a throwing weapon, it reduces the missile block chance. As you've seen, the elves have a lot of units that have spears or have shields, and so this does help us get the weapons actually through. When we get into monster hunting mode, though, we're probably going to want to switch from these guys to javelin units because we did pick up that skill that gives all of our javelins worm piercer. I don't know. We'll see. That's a concern for later. So in any case, this army will be at full strength next turn and ready to push. These guys absolutely will not. If I put you into... Oh, we don't even have enough movement left to go into raiding camp. Yeah, no, that's rough. That's a rough situation. You still need to spend some points to get to your arcane conduit. That's fine. Ungrim can grab Foe Seeker now, which will give us 25%. This is a little run speed boost, you know, as if you didn't have enough of that already. And then the 4th box here is going to be very much the same as the first. It's just stats plus weapon strength. And then finally, at the end of the line, Deadly Onslaught, which is a pretty significant damage bonus that you can have up about a third of the time, with a huge charge bonus thing on it too. But before I get any of that, actually, why don't we get the 3rd rank of training here? Trying to make sure that the rest of the troops in the army are also feeling powerful. Although I guess in an army that has as many regiments of renown as this one does, maybe it's a little bit less valuable. I don't know. This is a very cobbled together force here.
Wolfric.
So what are we going to do with you, Thoman? Because, like, this is happening, right? I probably want to do... we probably need to do something about this. Philip Billings is going to head to one of our statues and take it away from us. And we need to have something going on that prevents him from doing that a whole bunch of times. But also, I don't really want to reduce my pressure on... Oh, Jesus. I don't really want to reduce my pressure on Lothern by all that much. And look at all the armies.
Beyond even quiet. This is absurd.
This is really ugly.
Reality.
All right. Well, we don't even have any movement right now, but like, as far as overall strategy goes, I'm concerned. And like, we are in a position here where I would love to build more buildings and do upgrades and stuff, but we're just like, we're so broke that I'm afraid if I do any of that stuff, we're gonna run into real problems. So for the moment, I think more infrastructure is off the table. Let's spill some blood. If we could get Lothern. Lothern is worth so much money per turn to us. Also, we have this thing that we can grab. That'll help some. Yeah, we can make this work, but it's... I don't know. It's going to be close. Oh, I need to adjust our camera settings. I'm going to leave this open so that I remember to do it when it gets back to our turn. Because we would definitely want to accelerate our own animations here so that we don't have to watch both of these guys sail so very slowly at the end of each of our turns. But they're coming. They're gonna get there eventually. Hey, I said leave that open. Okay, well, it's apparently they don't want to leave it open. All right, what is Eatane going to do here? Are we on the march? Sort of? That's a weird place for an army to go to. I wonder why they did that. Maybe they don't have vision all the way to Val's Anvil, and that was just about seeing forward. The Dread Fleet is out here scouting them back. Now, the Dread Fleet's main home and structures and stuff are a little bit south of Lothern. They're just in the ocean. So if reinforcements come from the Dread Fleet to put pressure on the elves, we should expect them to come from the south, which I think will actually be a really good thing for us. And provide a little bit of pressure relief and distraction where we need it the most. All right, I appreciate the Heralds of Ariel going out of their way to really clean up that orc faction. Really? Corona's pushing pretty far north there. Okay, yeah, we're going to lose the Moon Shard. We're at 6 allegiance right now, right? Oh, they didn't actually attack it. Well, they will. We're at 6 allegiance right now, so losing 1 statue won't mess things up. If we lose 2 statues, it might get weird, so let's try not to. As your warriors file through a pass high in the mountainous wastes, an avalanche hits. The snow moves with the speed of a raging behemoth, ready to swallow everything in its path. The men must shed most of what they carry if they are to outrun the deadly wall of white. If they do not, they will all perish. So we have to discard a ton of money and also 20% weapon strength or 10 armor for 10 turns. What the fuck? Where the hell were we that there was an avalanche? I guess discard their armor. Is this on both of our armies? Yeah, all armies. Jesus. I mean, it's got to be that 20% weapon strength is crazy. And an ambiguous offering. Any monster hunter knows that sooner or later the dark gods will make it known that they are watching. Though often the evidence of that is mysterious, this time it is as literal as they come. An altar whose appearance is frustratingly reticent in disclosing its allegiance. Maybe it honors all of the dark gods. And the offering already on it, is it a gift from them to be taken? Something to be complemented by an offering of your own? Or something simply to prey upon? Well, if we consider it a gift to be taken, we enable attrition for Thoman's army for 2 turns as punishment from the dark gods, where we get a Talisman of Preservation, which is pretty fucking rad. We consider it something to just pray over, and we get 8 leadership for 4 turns. That probably doesn't mean anything at all. Or we could give an offering for the offering. I hate all of these. The talisman's really good, and I do want it. Paying 1,000 gold right now, I just don't think we can do. And obviously enabling attrition damage for our badly wounded army that we desperately need to heal so that we can actually use it in combat is pretty far from ideal as well. But I think it's got to be it. I mean, maybe we can skate by. I'm gonna give up the 1,000 gold. The Dark God's benevolence, or what counts for one, could usually be counted on, as long as you give enough. The top knots have been destroyed. Thoman Gorax has learned some things about construction from hanging out in a place where construction's going on. We finished researching Monster Hunter, which I forgot that we were researching. We got ourselves a Talisman of Preservation, which is pretty good. And I think, here, let's, for us, animation speed all the way up to fastest. For everyone else, I'll put it on just fast so that we're still able to comprehend what they're doing. But we already know what we're doing because we're the ones doing it, so that could be faster. We could run Thom and Gorax back to Arnheim to try to play defense. We don't know exactly what's in Philip Billings' army, which seems very silly given that he's basically in my settlement.
What?
Wow, Wulfric is fast, y'all. So Wulfric could actually ride out and grab Sakana this turn, maybe? Alright, you know what? I'm not going to go engaging in any battles right now. I'm looking at my options here, but this is all stuff that we can figure next time. So, I maybe played that battle a little bit sloppily. We did lose our Frostworm, and I am sad about that. But when you come back next time, we will be avenging Frigistrix. And then, you know, obviously when Frigistrix comes back, we'll just use her to continue avenging her. Upon these high elves. Actually, hopefully these high elves will be dead by then. Come back next time to see if I can manage that. And we'll see you then.